Good morning. Welcome to Paradise Now, Dialogues with the Mother. My name is Sanda Davis, and I'll be your host for today's show and for many shows to come. In studio today, Dr. Timothy Watson. Thank you.
Hello, Mother.
Dr. Timothy Watson is author of many amazing books. You'll have the information to check his books if you wish. He's truly amazing. I've known Dr. Timothy Watson for some years now, and I know that I learned a lot talking with him. You'll see it for yourself. So, Doctor, what is today's topic?
We're going to talk about the ontological proof for the existence of God, which is based on a priori reasoning, which means that you use deductive reasoning based on a non-material form of reasoning. So you don't have any empirical or material evidence to support the claim. You just use pure reason or logic to show a logical proof for the existence of God. And we will then use that same proof to try to define the nature of God, principally to show that God cannot be a male.
Well, we're having a talk in our many hours of philosophical and divine talk, and we're just talking about the deductive thinking and about the non-empirical proof, right? And it was just a delight, and then Dr. Watson said, oh, that would make a good theme for the show. And I said, okay, that's right away, okay, we're filming it. And yes, we're filming today. So this is in the series of truth. I had a show about truth, then truth in our lives, truth continuum, then truth about old age. And now we go about truth about, how do you know truth about God? How do you prove what appears to be unprovable? Well, as we'll see, and if I understood well your reasoning that you'll help people with, God took care of that. God took care of the ways, of the many ways, in which people can come closer and closer to proving the existence of God. God, omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient, and all the powers, was not going to neglect something as important as the knowing and the trust, all the way to the proof that God is real. And God doesn't mind being proven real, doesn't mind having people inquire so that they have answers according to their own makeup. Philosophers look in a way, scientists look in some other way, faith people rely on faith, mystical people rely on mystical experience. So everybody has a piece of the puzzle according to their own build, their own culture, their own evolution, and all of that is good. We'll just have to discern where is fantasy, where is interpretation, and what is actually coming together towards evidence, because when you put all the pieces of the puzzle together, some don't fit, and some are really the puzzle who show you. Like if you see the puzzle, you'll see the woman. If you see the God puzzle, like it's flashed to my head right now, if you put all the right puzzles, you get a puzzle that shows you God with the planetary level, with all the stars, and God right there with the stars and the planets as part of that wholeness. But distinctly woman. So we're just talking about the ultimate truth. That's the subject of today's show. The ultimate truth What is the ultimate truth?
That God is a woman.
See, the ultimate truth is that God is a woman. Now, all men who think that God is a woman, thank you very much. You may look in the mirror and you may find out that you still have hair on your heads. Most people who have reverence for femininity are in better health, they are more vibrant, more vital, enjoy life much more, respect more, and they have their hair. You know, do you associate the macho with the hair loss and the big muscles, but not too much hair? Or even shaving the little hair that is left?
I don't know that I would associate the macho type of male with a full-headed, full head of hair or being bald. But I do see what your point is, that unless you have a philosophy that's conducive to life, that's life affirmative, life affirming, then you are going to experience a loss of vitality, a loss of longevity, and the symptoms would be things like graying hair, hair falling out, baldness. It just makes sense. So if you're having a negative attitude towards that being that spawns life, namely the female being, then naturally you're in an anti-life modality. You're in an anti-life kind of.
So the bolder you are, the bolder you may be. I take it as a joke. I would love to see statistics. This is my insight, okay? I'm just feeling that. And like you say, there are ways in which that would actually make sense. You have reverence for life, you have more of everything, including joy and the better build and the better vitality and maybe even better hair. Well, now there are hereditary factors there, but keep in mind, try to respect the ladies who may grow some hair, and let us know. I would love somebody to actually do research with that. Actually, I would love to have statistics about the type of personality and hair loss. Because maybe some people could say, I'd better be respectful to the ladies than lose my hair. Anyways, on that mood, let's see the more profound philosophical points that you had that were a delight for me to hear.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll start with St. Anselm, a Christian theologian. He had the ontological proof for the existence of God, which is that God is that being greater than which nothing greater can be conceived. So that being greater than which nothing greater can be conceived must exist in reality, because if it were only to exist in fantasy, then it would not be a being greater than which nothing greater could be conceived. So it must exist as an ontological proof. This argument shows that for the idea of such perfection even entering the human consciousness, it must exist in actuality and not just in some potential form or in some fantastical notion. It's got to exist in actual reality. Otherwise, it wouldn't comprise the essence of perfection that this whole phraseology would imply, right? So yeah.
It seems to me like science fiction. If you can imagine it, it actually exists. Science fiction appeared to be imagination, appeared to be fantasy until the evidence appeared that actually it's real. Like something conceived as science fiction becomes reality. If you think of 80 miles under the ocean, or if you think of Jules Verne's Flight to the Moon, at a time of who would think about flying to the moon? And here we know that. And spaceships, who could think of spaceships when they didn't know airplanes yet? Look what happens. We have science fiction that already prepares us. Science fiction is actually an avant-post that prepares us for where reality is heading. It is inspired. And I would add to what you just said that if something is this big and something this big and something this big, there must be something that's bigger than everything, and that's the God, right?
Very well said.
And you cannot imagine something bigger than what is. For people who missed our previous shows, we recommend that you go and visit YouTube and type in search Paradise Now Dialogues with the Mother. You'll find there all the episodes. Please leave your comments. We're interested in what you think. We're looking forward to hear from you. Classes with the Mother, Sanda Davis. Learn about true love, soul and spirit, paradise now, gaze to the eternal paradise, gaze to the universal paradise, healing, and many other topics that you might be interested in. Check on the website and you'll find the information, and let us know if you're interested in class, online, or in your area. Walk and Dance reality show on Paradise Now. If you have paraplegia or quadriplegia. Auditions start March 1st to April 1st, 2017. On the air healing for spinal cord injury. We're currently looking for advertisers and sponsors for our show. If you wish to advertise or sponsor our show, please refer to the information on the screen and contact us. Thank you. Welcome back. Today's show is called The Ultimate Truth, God is a Woman, or God is Feminine, right? Dr. Timothy Watson will tell you about his views about the ultimate truth from a philosophical perspective. Dr. Timothy Watson is author of many books that I recommend to all of you full-heartedly. And he's a doctor in philosophy. So we have a brilliant mind here telling us things from a philosophical point of view.
Yeah, well, so we were talking about St. Anselm's ontological proof for the existence of God. And then we move back in time and we look at Aristotle, and his philosophy was based on some teachings from pre-Socratic philosophers, but also from his teacher, strongly influenced by Plato. And so he had this idea of causality, where the cause had to be at least equal to or greater than its effect. So the antecedent has to be greater than the consequent. So the notion here relates to God, that we as beings could not exist unless we were conceived by a higher intelligence, a being that in terms of causality surpasses us as an effect. So when we take that as a notion and we realize that in most of our religions we have a concept of God as being a male, this, from a logical standpoint, doesn't relate to what could be possible because the antecedent cause, that being a male God, is not equal to its effect. A male cannot produce life. So when we look at the concept of a female God, we realize that the mother God is able to produce life, and therefore the causality proof works here, where you have a cause or an antecedent that's at least equal to its consequence or effect. So here you have a proof, a logical proof that seems to work.
Yeah, and you know, it's very interesting. I have memories from Atlantis. And one thing that we were studying there in Atlantis, that anybody cannot produce an effect greater than what they can control. It's like we're floating above the water, touching the water with the tip of our toes, and the ripples of the water are not supposed to be greater than the extent that we could control. The ripples from one was not supposed to disturb what another one was doing. And that was vital in what happened with the Great Flood. So everything we did had to be, we had to be responsible. You drive a car that you can control. You drive the type of plane that you can control. You don't jump to do something that you cannot. You are a deity that can control a region of the earth and do a great job. You don't declare yourself the greatest God of all that controls everybody and everything and make a mess of everything. That's what we suffer from right now, from those that produced more than they could control to produce the proper quality. When you have a specialist in something, knowing what's his specialty, where's somebody else's specialty, and how to cooperate, then you have a good result. When you have somebody who is a son, whom we love, declared to be the God of gods, wait a minute, where's the Father? The Son greater than the Father? How does that happen? Why would the Father produce something greater than the Father just to have everybody forget about the Father and mess up the world and give us 2 millennia of religious wars? Because the sons are competing and none of the sons are listening to the Father? Or none of the sons are listening to the mother either? Because they came, like Zeus was a son. Oh, he became the king of the gods, and the gods are as immoral as he was. And they met their twilight, because they didn't keep the order of what they were supposed to do. So this is such a great point. It's exactly what we've been through. One has to produce what one can control. And when you have living beings that you cannot put in line and they would distort and they would abuse the law, then there'll be problems and you have to step in. This is why now, after the guys messed up, taking over and saying, there's no mother, the mother goes, aha, and how do we get life? And how do you get the living atoms that are in your toes? You get it because the mother has birthed you guys as deities who have to listen to mother and father. And that's now, the father came first, then the son came to work for the father, not to become greater than the father and to forget that there is a father, and to get everybody on his boat. Okay, we leave the earth, and the earth would be in big distress because those who follow the son will be better than those who are on earth or the kingdom of God with father and mother. So we're dealing with something absolutely real here. We have to see that everyone has to take the responsibility that they can carry. And what happened in Atlantis is that they built an island, a continent bigger than could float, that disturbed the balance and that when it sunk, it produced waves that flooded the world. The big flood that you read about, Atlantis. The people of the sea that came in the Mesopotamia, north of Africa, all of those regions, Peru, those are all who escaped the flood, who escaped the sinking with Atlantis. But when Atlantis sunk, if it was proportionate, it should have sunk like an iron that you use for ironing. You put it in the tub, it goes shh. It doesn't produce, doesn't make the tub flood. The same thing when Atlantis, if Atlantis just went to the bottom and the water would have just covered the whole, that's how it was supposed to be. If it was correctly built in harmony with the laws of nature, it would go like a rock. That's the proportion. In a lake, you can have a boulder and it goes sinking and it's not going to produce a flood. You have a continent that is huge, made with pride, disregarding laws like this. You don't produce something bigger than you can control and fix. So when some of the sons went out of control, but the father knows how to put them back in control, to respect the law and to respect life and to respect reality, and know how to fix what they done wrong when things were wrong. And that's what we're doing now. We're fixing it. And one of the things that we have to fix is bringing truth and bringing understanding. So how do you like your point? I said I'll give you the whole 10 minutes, but maybe this is a way of giving you. But I love the way you put it too well. You served it and I had to.
You did marvelously, and I'm so glad that you said what you just did, because it was profound and only the mother could express it. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about this concept of God. René Descartes had 3 proofs for God's existence, and so we will take a look at these after the break.
Yeah, after the break, we'll actually take 5 minutes for each one of the 3 proofs, so we can focus on those. And because you're the expert, I'll let you do that. Sure. And I have to be a gracious hostess, right? I have to let you do what you need to do and share with us. For people who missed our previous shows, we recommend that you go and visit YouTube and type in search Paradise Now, Dialogues with the Mother. You'll find there all the episodes. Please leave your comments. We're interested in what you think. We're looking forward to hear from you. Classes with the Mother, Sanda Davis. Learn about true love, soul and spirit, paradise now, gaze to the eternal paradise, gaze to the universal paradise, healing, and many other topics that you might be interested in. Check on the website and you'll find the information, and let us know if you're interested in class, online, or in your area. Walk and Dance reality show on Paradise Now. If you have paraplegia or quadriplegia. Auditions start March 1st to April 1st, 2017. On the air healing for spinal cord injury. We're currently looking for advertisers and sponsors for our show. If you wish to advertise or sponsor our show, please refer to the information on the screen and contact us. Thank you. Welcome back. We're talking with Dr. Timothy Watson, author and doctor in philosophy, and we're talking about the three arguments of Descartes, René Descartes, the three arguments for proving the existence of God, right?
Mm-hmm. So they're cosmological, ontological arguments for the first one is a cosmological, ontological argument for the existence of God. So to begin with, everything has to have a cause. And the fact that I have an idea as a conscious, thinking, sentient being of God, as a infinitely perfect being, that must have a cause which is infinitely perfect for me to have even conceived it. Okay? And I myself, as a thinking agent, a human being who is a thinking agent, am not perfect. Therefore, I could not have a concept of an eternally, infinitely perfect being if there wasn't such a being in actual fact that existed outside of me and my consciousness, because I am far from perfect. And I have an idea of God which represents that being that is infinitely perfect. So how did that idea occur to me, the thinking agent? I could not have such an idea if there was no infinitely perfect being existing outside of me and my consciousness. So, therefore, an infinitely perfect being, God, exists by necessity outside of me and my consciousness. And that being that is perfect infinitely could not be a male God, because the male God is not sufficient to be perfect, because it wouldn't be able to produce life. A female God would be able to produce life, and that would constitute the missing ingredient, which constitutes perfection. The male God falls short of that perfection. So that being would not be greater than which nothing greater could be conceived, to go back to the St. Anselm argument, because that being would be incapable of producing life.
So perfection can exist in smaller forms, lesser complexities. Can have a perfect bicycle. Mm-hmm. We can have a perfect robotic being or a perfect child. They can evolve. Mm-hmm. But other than perfection also includes, like I explained somewhere else, that you can do mistakes, but you understand that you didn't do mistakes, you understand the mistakes and you fix them. Correcting is part of perfection. Perfect doesn't mean that you never do mistakes. It's that when you do them, you are willing to correct them and to learn how to correct them. So there's a lot about perfection there. So yes, men can be perfect, but the perfection that you're talking about is the completeness, a perfectly complete being that can account for everything. If you look at men, he cannot account for everything. You can have a perfect Jesus. Jesus does not account for everything. Somebody gave him life. Somebody resurrected him. That's another thing. You may think that he just exploded out of the cave. That's less relevant. But you know it's accounted that somebody gave him life. He didn't give life to himself. He may have come to teach us how to have more life. So yes, in terms of perfection, yes, you can achieve perfection at what you are. Can be a perfect pilot, correcting errors, and it's perfect if you can land the plane and bring people home safely and be ready to do it again. But the completeness, I would like to hear more about that, but after we hear the other 2 points, after the break. For people who missed our previous shows, we recommend that you go and visit YouTube and type in search Paradise Now Dialogues with the Mother. You'll find there all the episodes. Please leave your comments. We're interested in what you think. We're looking forward to hear from you. Classes with the Mother, Sanda Davis. Learn about true love, soul and spirit, paradise now, gaze to the eternal paradise, gaze to the universal paradise, healing, and many other topics that you might be interested in. Check on the website and you'll find the information, and let us know if you're interested in class, online, or in your area. Walk and Dance reality show on Paradise Now. If you have paraplegia or quadriplegia. Auditions start March 1st to April 1st, 2017. On the air healing for spinal cord injury. We're currently looking for advertisers and sponsors for our show. If you wish to advertise or sponsor our show, please refer to the information on the screen and contact us. Thank you. Welcome back. The theme of the show is the ultimate truth, God is a woman. And Dr. Timothy Watson is talking to us about the three arguments of Descartes in favor of proving the existence of God. We are now at the second argument.
So the second argument is the conservation of existence argument. So let's look at the child that is born, and it would be unable to survive on its own as an infant without the nurturing care of the mother. Indeed, the father is a nurturer, and the father does care for the infant child as well, and the growing child that the parents are rearing. Indeed, both parents participate. But to actually sustain that infant life, nurture it and preserve it, is the province of the mother. The mother nurtures that child with her breast milk, with her maternal care, with the brand of love that only the mother can demonstrate and show. The child would not survive without that nurturing attention and care given to the child, which can only come from the female. Now, of course, it's not always the case that that infant child has the mother, as in its actual biological mother, to care for it. We have nursemaids and sometimes surrogate mothers and so forth. But the point here is that there's still a mother, functional mother, participating in the exercise. So from a ontological standpoint and from a nurturing standpoint of life, the same applies to the Divine Mother. You need the female mother God agency there to be able to nurture and to preserve and to maintain life.
And here where we come to that precious point where the father has a role in the conception of the child. The mother provides the life, the father provides the light. It's that spark between life and light that will produce that baby. So that makes the father very important, at least in that moment. And then, after that, how important it is for the father to cherish the mother, to protect the children, not violently, to teach them, to work with the mother, cooperate for the mother in the safety and the good upbringing of the people. And how important is that in the whole history, when somehow guys took over and forgot about the mother and separate mother from father. Not only they put the son on top of mother and father, but they separated in their mind mother from father. So the embodiments of the father couldn't get through to men that would cherish the mother. So the way a family wouldn't do well without harmony and love between mother and father, cherishing and protecting the children, the same way we see that it didn't work when only the mother was known in a matriarchal society. That was not good. When only the father was known, that was not good. But having both mother and father. So in terms of the nurturing, we know the order that mother is first, the life giver, and then mother brings the children together with the father, but how much more the mother's weaving of life in that body that comes out perfect. But then should we have the father who is waiting for children to grow up and do war in the name of some religion, or we should have the father cherishing life, cherishing the mother, cherishing the children, and be equally, if not more important to the mother? The father is more important because of everything wonderful that the father can bring. And to the father, the mother is more important. If mother and father in every family are each one more important to each other, that's where you have that glory of the beautiful relationship in our harmony and love that makes paradise on earth, heaven on earth. For people who missed our previous shows, we recommend that you go and visit YouTube and type in search Paradise Now Dialogues with the Mother. You'll find there all the episodes. Please leave your comments. We're interested in what you think. We're looking forward to hear from you. Classes with the Mother, Sanda Davis. Learn about true love, soul and spirit, paradise now, gaze to the eternal paradise, gaze to the universal paradise, healing, and many other topics that you might be interested in. Check on the website and you'll find the information. And let us know if you're interested in class, online, or in your area. Walk and Dance reality show on Paradise Now. If you have paraplegia or quadriplegia. Auditions start March 1st to April 1st, 2017. On the air healing for spinal cord injury. We're currently looking for advertisers and sponsors for our show. If you wish to advertise or sponsor our show, please refer to the information on the screen and contact us. Thank you. Welcome back, Dr. Timothy Watson. We continue with the second argument.
So Descartes' second argument, the conservation of existence argument, holds that I, the thinking agent, exist as something which has an idea or concept of God as the infinitely perfect being. And everything that exists has a cause which brought it into existence and then preserves its existence. Therefore, I am not the cause of my own existence and preservation, like in the example of what we discussed with the nurturing mother caring for the infant child. Any being which is the cause of my existence and preservation is a being which has an idea of God and is in fact God. And the only thing which is capable of causing and preserving me is a being which has an idea of God and is God. And so therefore, God exists. So I would say that for the preservation of me to be possible, is that I have to exist on a planet that's able to sustain me and to provide for my needs and to provide me with food and nourishment and to have a sun that provides me with the solar radiation energy needed to sustain my life and the plant life that I consume or that the animals consume to sustain their lives. And whether I be a carnivore, whether I be a herbivore, whether I be a vegetarian, whether I be someone that's dependent upon animal meat for my protein sustenance or not, the fact of the matter is there needs to be a being that's providing for all of the life that exists on this planet, which would not be able to sustain itself on its own. The planet itself wouldn't be able to sustain itself on its own unless there was a mother God that sustained the planet and in all life on the planet. We speak of the Mother Earth. Your relationship as the mother and your higher level, your divine level, the Mother God, has a direct bearing on the Mother Earth and all that the Mother Earth is able to nurture and sustain and preserve in terms of life on this so-called planet. So I find that it's an interesting proof, the proof of God's existence that's been provided by Saint Anselm and by Descartes, and by taking the argument further, we can see that it can prove that God must be a woman, that God must be female.
So yeah, if we add there Mother Nature, Mother Earth, Mother Nature, yeah, we have quite a maternal participation to sustaining life. And if we add all the mothers of all species who birth babies of all kinds, and they're all wonderful, and mothers birthing life, it's not reducing the importance of the fathers. It's not reducing the importance of men at all. It's on the contrary, telling them, look what a treasure we have here. Look how important is your role to nurture and protect that which you have seeded. So you'll see the mother bear year after year going around with the cubs, and you may see a male bear who chases to eat the cubs. Maybe not his own, but some cubs, some, you know. But the maternal love, preserver and protector of life, the maternal love would never call for the apocalypse. The maternal life would fight to make sure that apocalypse doesn't happen. So we need a paternal love that works with the mother to preserve the planet, to preserve nature, to preserve life, to preserve the infinite future of all of us. If we look at the argument of preserver, God is a preserver, not a destroyer. And men can definitely be preservers together with women, right? From preserver household and preserver. But what is the degree?
Well, there has to be a rightful order, and so the respect for the mother as the birther of life and preserver of life has to be constantly honored, so that when the father participates in that act of preservation of life, he's following the mother's lead, and it's a perfect waltz, and they are waltzing in perfect harmony, but there has to be a rightful order. And with these patriarchal societies that have been in play for so many thousands of years, we see that the rightful order has not been maintained, and we have had nothing but conflict and nothing but warfare on the planet since those times till the present.
With sacrifice of life for all sorts of silly reasons, for all sorts of motives that have other solutions and not the sacrifice of life. Looking forward for the next segment to look into more of your information. For people who missed our previous shows, we recommend that you go and visit YouTube and type in search Paradise Now Dialogues with the Mother. You'll find there all the episodes. Please leave your comments. We're interested in what you think. We're looking forward to hear from you. Classes with the Mother, Sanda Davis. Learn about true love, soul and spirit, paradise now, gaze to the eternal paradise, gaze to the universal paradise, healing, and many other topics that you might be interested in. Check on the website and you'll find the information, and let us know if you're interested in class, online, or in your area. Walk and Dance reality show on Paradise Now. If you have paraplegia or quadriplegia. Auditions start March 1st to April 1st, 2017. On the air healing for spinal cord injury. We're currently looking for advertisers and sponsors for our show. If you wish to advertise or sponsor our show, please refer to the information on the screen and contact us. Thank you. Welcome back. Dr. Watson, you are making my point of how important it is to preserve everything valuable from the past. I'm looking at these words of the philosophers, how vital and how essential they are. So please, I would like to hear the third argument.
Sure. So Descartes' third argument for the proof of God's existence is a perfection argument. So me, the thinking being, cannot have a conception of God just through my own agency. My conception of God is the conception of a being that possesses all perfections. And existence is a perfection in its own right, and the absolute of that perfection is, of course, God. Therefore, I cannot conceive of God as not existing. Furthermore, I can't conceive of God as not existing without existing in all perfection. And a male God is not existing in all perfection because it lacks the attributes that are required of perfection, namely the attribute of being able to give birth to life and the attribute of being able to nurture, preserve, and sustain life. So therefore, God must be a woman. God must be female. I'm just taking his reasoning and extending it further to explain how the concept of perfection as regards godhood is concerned necessitates or requires that God be a woman. So we have this theory which comes down to us from a pre-Socratic philosopher called Plotinus, and it's the great chain of being argument, and it influenced Aristotle, and of course from Aristotle it's influenced the ontological arguments for the existence of God right down through history. I find Descartes' proofs very interesting, and when you look at the cogito ergo sum, I think therefore I am, thinking therefore being argument, you can't see how that could not apply to the whole ontological argument proof for the existence of God, because if I think, and because I think, I'm proving that I myself exist through that very act of thinking, then to conceive of the perfect thought, the thought of God's existence, entering my consciousness, then that must mean that that God exists in all perfection in actual fact, because it's entered my consciousness, and I'm proving my existence through my own act of thinking. Therefore, I'm proving the existence of the ultimate God.
For people who missed our previous shows, we recommend that you go and visit YouTube and type in search Paradise Now Dialogues with the Mother. You'll find there all the episodes. Please leave your comments. We're interested in what you think. We're looking forward to hear from you. Classes with the Mother, Sanda Davis. Learn about true love, soul and spirit, paradise now, gaze to the eternal paradise, gaze to the universal paradise, healing, and many other topics that you might be interested in. Check on the website and you'll find the information, and let us know if you're interested in class, online, or in your area. Walk and Dance reality show on Paradise Now. If you have paraplegia or quadriplegia. Auditions start March 1st to April 1st, 2017. On the air healing for spinal cord injury. We're currently looking for advertisers and sponsors for our show. If you wish to advertise or sponsor our show, please refer to the information on the screen and contact us. Thank you. This last segment is just to tell you, do not worry. You say, oh, now everything is upside down, now God is a woman, how do I understand my religion? We'll come back with helping you to understand that you're fine with your religion. There's room for mother within that whole process, and we'll talk about that. I'm totally amazed with the way you brought philosophy, Dr. Watson, into the right points. It's like you served the bowl to me just for me to be able to make the points that need to be made with people. So I'm really happy with this. And tell us, what would you like to share with the public now for the last few seconds of the show today?
Okay, yeah, I'm mainly known as Timothy Speaman. That's my pen name. So I've been working with the mother for 2 years, and it's been the most meaningful thing that's happened to me, and I couldn't see myself as doing anything else now that I'm united with the mother. So let's just say I'm filling in for the father until he really shows up.
Come, Father.